see so many people. I also just want to say what a fantastic community, Westgate-on-Sea. I've been down here a few times and I've had nothing but a warm welcome. I was even noticing as I was going along, it's wonderful to see some new retailers in the high street as well. So that's fantastic to see, because that's difficult times. We South Eastern are the privileged ones to actually operate the train service through this wonderful old station, and 150 years is quite incredible. Sometimes you can't even get your head around something like 150 years. Oh, isn't that just Britain? The snow's now coming down, isn't it? Right, I better hurry up. The speeches of these lovely people dressed up in this lovely attire are going to freeze. So, with the help of John, I just had a few points. Now, there's probably some historians here know more about this railway than I will ever know. So, if any of these points are wrong, then please correct me afterwards. So, obviously celebrating 150 years. We have in 1863 the first trains of the London, Chatham and Dover Railway reached Margate. At this time, 3 farms made up the Westgate-on-sea estate, so I'll let the experts question me on that. In 1870, plans were drawn up to develop the estate. I just would like to say, I'm not answering emails or texts, I am reading this. This is just modern technology, I promise you. 1871, Westgate-on-sea Railway Station opened. So a fantastic achievement. Here we are 150 years later. In 1890, Station Road was developed with shops, and the station was situated in the middle of this development, becoming a pivotal point as the town developed. And we was discussing earlier, wasn't we, about the station got built and then the community was developed around it. So just shows how important the railway was then and continues to be in this modern day for communities and obviously work and development. 1895, the station foot crossing was replaced by a lattice footbridge. I've got some notes at the end where obviously we've got another new footbridge, which is fantastic. Some great old stories about gas lamps were being used in the platform buildings in 1920. Gas lamps, wow. And of course, rolling forward, perhaps I'll summarise by 2019, as we're part of the private sector now, even though actually we're probably more a little bit under government now. Our last year of COVID has damaged our business model. But the privatisation, as I say, the waiting room we developed, and we've got some more plans for Westgate Station. I think it's important to be involved in this community. And I'll probably summarise, I'll finish on that note, otherwise I'll just be reading out date after date after date, and the historians will just glare at me. So I'm going to hand over now to Councillor Joanna Cornford.
Thank you.
Hello Joanna, lovely to meet you.
Thank you very much, David. Well, it is a privilege to be here today. Of course, in 1821 there was another 23 years before we actually became a civil parish. However, the Westgate-on-Sea Town Council has worked really well with the Heritage Centre. Closer? Okay, thank you. Yes, and I'm mask free because I'm standing up for deaf people. It's been a nightmare over the last few months. Yes, we've worked closely with the Heritage Centre, and I'd like to thank the town clerk, Mrs Jill Gray, and the assistant, very capable Mrs Chloe Wheatley, for helping to organise today. Thank you very much. And heritage is a big thing in Westgate, along with our coastline. It attracts visitors and tourists alike, and this really enhances it. I mean, 150 years. Dr. Field has written a booklet here, which is on sale. I'm not quite sure. Jill, where is it on sale? Is it? We have it in the town council offices and at the Heritage Centre. Yes. And unfortunately, Sally Whitworth, who's also writes the newsletter and has done the leaflets for today. Is she here? Yes, she's just arriving. Hello, Sally. I'm just promoting the Heritage Centre here because it's an important part of Westgate and its attractions. And thanks also to residents, Lorraine and Richard Hambidge, for the 1821 engine and the 21st century engine at the end there. Also, Network Rail recently, 2019 and 20, they refurbished the station, brought it up to date, and we have a new bridge. And Westgate in Bloom has also helped with the flower beds and outside the planters and around the tree here. And the station manager, John, thank you very much for your support indeed. And also for the media for attending and recording this for historic purposes. And thank you all very much. Originally it was a very small gathering on the actual birthday, so this is in keeping with what happens historically. Thank you very much. So I'm going to pass you over to Dr. Graham Field.
Thank you. Drop the mask for a minute so as A, you can hear me better with the microphone, and B, I can read what I'm going to say because my glasses aren't steamy. And thank you for inviting me as chairman of the Westgate-on-sea Heritage Centre. The centre was founded by Dr. Dawn Crouch, who loved Westgate-on-sea and said that it would not have existed without the station. Dawn did so much for Westgate-on-sea. She recorded its history and was rightly elected the first honorary freeman, and I know she would have been much more eloquent than my few words today. She was very keen on anniversaries and wanted the town council to organise a celebration day. And in spite of being unwell last year, she gave our town clerk, Mrs. Gray, quite a lot of instructions about the form the ceremony should take, and which sadly have had to be diluted by COVID. Herman Mertens was the owner of a lot of the land which became Westgate, and he sold the land to the fledgling East Kent Railway, later becoming the London, Chatham and Dover Railway Companies, and gave the land for a station to the London, Chatham and Dover Railway. It's rumoured that local worthies actually funded the station. The London, Chatham and Dover Railway took an identikit off the peg design for rural stations for Westgate. Over the years, these stations in the region were expanded and modernised according to expanding needs. Only recently, until recently, only Mepham and Westgate-on-sea were largely unchanged. Mepham was radically changed a few years ago, leaving Westgate-on-sea as a unique remaining example. It has, of course, had to change a bit, but as documented in the history booklet, many of the older parts are still visible. During recent modernising safety updates, some old features were revealed as documented, like the old booking clerk's office in the old entrance building, and now renovated for new purposes, on the up platform. And I was delighted to see that the replacement footbridge has a colour scheme with historical reference to the pre-war Southern Railway. Mrs. Whitworth, our newsletter editor, has produced a trail leaflet available today of what would have been visible in 1871 when the station opened. The leaflet is in the style worthy of those produced by Dr. Crouch. With Dr. Crouch here today, I'm sure she would join me in saying that we must treasure this unique station, and we all say, happy 150th birthday.
Thank you very much. Just like to say thank you all for coming along here today in such difficult circumstances with the weather and what's going on. It is important that we share going forward the community and what we can do here for you in the station, and what I try and do and link in with you, with the council as well, because between us we've got some good ideas, and I do feel going forward it's going to be a better year, and we should all prosper for that. So thank you very much. I'd just like to say, teas and coffees inside, and help yourself to a cake on that side, and feel free to come and talk to us. We're only 2 please. Thank you everybody.